We make over 35,000 decisions daily. 35,000. And here's the kicker. Cognitive psychology shows our working memory can really only hold about 4 to 7 items at a time. Once that bandwidth is gone, performance collapses. The WHO has even classified chronic workplace stress and decision overload as an occupational hazard. For managers in particular, that's just not a theory. You've lived it, I've lived it in aerospace, defense, and with the business leaders and executives I've developed. Decision overload robs us of the very capacity we need to perform when it matters most. That capacity is what I call adaptive capacity, your reserve tank. It's the mental fuel you need to respond when stress is at its highest. Think back to yesterday. How many times were you already drained before lunch? How many small decisions wore you down before the big ones even started? So what's the solution? The goal isn't to eliminate decisions altogether. That's impossible. The goal is to preserve our adaptive capacity. Why? Because adaptive capacity is what allows us to manage and deploy effective cognitive load when it matters most. The high stakes, high cognitive challenges that are both planned and unplanned. It's what allows us to show up as the strong link for the teams that depend on us. And here's the piece that most people forget. Preserving adaptive capacity also means having enough left to separate from work and be fully present at home. That's the real goal. How do we protect this? Through 3 stages: neutralize, stabilize, and orchestrate. The first stage, neutralizing those threats. This is the first step to eliminate the hidden drains that rob us of that adaptive capacity before our days even begin. Safeguard your sleep. Late night eating, sympathetic nervous system activation, and digital overload from phones are major culprits. If you're not protecting your sleep, you're starting with one hand tied behind your back. Working with the Cooper's color code, when we are managing waking up in an orange state, we fall back on this color code. It's a model created by U.S. Marine Officer Colonel Jeff Cooper to teach situational awareness under stress. Most of us wake up already in that orange state, mentally devoting resources to the day's challenges before we've even had the chance to stabilize. The best fix? Pre-plan just 2 to 3 high cognitive tasks for the day. That's the meeting maybe you're stressing about and that preparation. Not 10, not 15, just 2 or 3, and anchor your day around them. Next, work to minimize trivial choices. Routine as much as possible, whether it's feeding your dog, brushing your teeth, or the kids' morning prep. Decide once, systemize it as much as you can, and drive the conscious into the unconscious. Now what? The aim here is simple. Neutralize the immediate threats and get into stage 2, stabilize as soon as possible. If you want to keep getting tips and to strengthen your adaptive capacity, be sure to subscribe so we can keep pushing out these techniques almost daily for you. Moving into stage 2 for stabilize. Here's the truth. Most of us assume we're most rested first thing in the morning. My experience and the experience of countless leaders I've worked with says otherwise. Most of us still wake up in an agitated state. Our goal in this second stage is to actively reset back into that steady state homeostasis quickly. There's 3 ways I've found that a lot of leaders can use to stabilize quickly. The first is doing some sort of physical reset. For me, living with chronic pain from a shifted nerve cluster during my time in the Army, stretching and yoga are just non-negotiables for me. For some, a workout helps recenter, but keep this in mind. If you're already anxious, angry, or stressed, a workout can actually spike cortisol and rob capacity instead of building it. The second approach I like to do at this stage is to mentally reset. Taking 10 to 15 minutes of solitude, no devices, no inputs, maybe just a cup of coffee and a tea, and space and just let your mind settle. Some may take it a step further and incorporate meditative practices, but the idea here is to embrace solitude and let your mind settle. The last approach I like to do to stabilize is to try to refill your energy. Anything that lifts you. Maybe it's time with your kids, maybe it's a dog walk or another creative outlet, or even a short coffee with friends before work actually starts. And be careful here. Some activities seem healthy, but quietly drain you, like strict dieting when you're already in a high-stress season. If the routine costs more than cognitive energy that it gives back, it's not stabilization, it's depletion. So now what? When you stabilize, you don't just stop the drain, you start to rebuild your adaptive capacity. And that moves us to that third stage, now looking to orchestrate the day. You've optimized your adaptive capacity as best you can. Now comes the real art, orchestrating and planning that execution. The strongest executioners, the strong links, I've seen across every domain share really 4 practices. The first is time blocking, protecting bandwidth for 2 to 3 high cognitive, high value tasks. And that's it, 2 to 3 of them. That includes the preparation and execution, nothing more. This may not stop that from occupying your mind, but you'll feel more relaxed going into your day, knowing you've blocked off that time. The next is to automate using tools, AI, and process checklists to offload repetitive tasks, scheduling budgets, reminders, anything that can help to reduce that decision fatigue, because it's automated in your daily routine. The third is delegation. Off-ramp key actions to your team, but only once you've armed them with a very clear understanding of the intent and end state and resources, and that they have the power to take on that decision-making authority. The last is to defer. Don't get cut by thousands of trivial tasks. What I do is anything less than 30 seconds. If I can do it, I'll do it. If not, I'll capture it on a list and I'll time block routine tasks where I can take low cognitive load and knock off a lot of those tasks. Strong links don't try to do everything. They orchestrate with discipline. So here's the recap. Neutralize the threats that rob you before the day begins. Stabilize quickly so you stop the drain and rebuild your reserves. Orchestrate with time blocking, automation, delegation, and deferral. Decision overload isn't about being busy. It's about how we protect and deploy adaptive capacity. And here's the truth. Strong links aren't just executors. They're cognitive athletes. Their job is to protect their own capacity and their teams so performance doesn't collapse under stress. The real difference isn't the knowledge gap, it's the action gap. Most people know they need to manage their cognitive load. Few actually build the routines and systems to protect it daily. So here's your challenge. Audit your routine this week. What's draining your adaptive capacity unnecessarily? What's truly stabilizing you? What can you automate, delegate, or defer? Because at the end of the day, strong links aren't the ones who carry every load. They're the ones who preserve their strength for the moments that matters most. Be sure to subscribe to learn firsthand strategies, tools, and techniques to help you be the strong link in your team, while preserving the capacity to be there for those most important to you. You'll also learn from leaders across aerospace, defense, and beyond in our one-to-one interviews. And we'll see you on the next episode.